going to start?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
All right, so our next speaker then is Paula Miranda-Loya with her titled Screen Zombies.
Hi. Screen zombies. What do I mean when I talk about screen zombies? I'm talking about mindless hours on a screen, stuck on your phone, on your tablet, on your iPad, with no sense of what's around you or the time. Maybe you live with a couple of screen zombies. There's a group of people that live with you. They're all on different devices. Nobody's communicating with each other, or they're just existing. These are what I am referring to as screen zombies. Today I'm going to talk to you about what screen time is. I'm going to share some shocking information about screen time, and I'm going to talk about the use of technology in the classroom, social and emotional psychology damages, and small changes you could do in your life that can improve your mental health. We live in a new school era. Surrounded by technology, it is all around us, and it is inevitable that we are going to encounter technology in our life, in both our home life and also in the classroom. The key to this is that it should be used in moderation, in the way that we are using it both at home and also the way that educators are using it to teach in our classrooms. Let's start with what screen time is. Screen time is the total amount of time that we spend on technology. This includes cell phones, tablets, video games, computers. The amount of hours that is spent on these devices quickly adds up. According to the American Association of Pediatrics, 3 out of 4 kids spend less than an hour outside. 4 out of 5 kids by the age of 12 are already on social media. The average kid, ages 5 through 16, are spending 6.5 hours per day on a screen, and the average teenager is spending about 8 hours. Too much screen time has had direct links to health issues like attention disorders, obesity, eating disorders, and also sleep disorders. These kids are not getting enough sleep. In turn, are having difficulty with school. The American Association of Pediatrics recommends for our kids to be only a maximum of 2 hours per day on screens. This is a very unrealistic number, 2 hours, especially when it's in combination with your home and also with the classroom. Technology is being incorporated in the classroom each and every day more and more. Lana Hall, a 3rd grade teacher, in an article in the Washington Post, shares her experience with the change in technology with iPad use in her classroom. As a 3rd grade teacher, she describes it as being detrimental to our children of today. She talks about how it is depriving children from hands-on learning, time outdoors, creative learning, and most of all, social interaction. She explains how she had to transition from a regular teaching curriculum to the new age style of teaching. Simply giving an iPad, she talks about how simply giving an iPad to a teacher is not going to make a difference. These teachers need to be properly trained in using these new tools to teaching in the classroom. According to greatschools.org, there has been a success in incorporating these devices in the classroom. So they have been successful. They talk about how it makes learning more fun, and it makes it more easier to have individualized learning plans for each of the students in the classroom. It also wastes less paper, and it makes programs like STEM possible. In an article in 2016 in greatschools.org, the Los Angeles School District made a comment that was very true. It says, access to technology is not a luxury. It is a basic necessity. Many of the students in the classroom do not have access to technology at home. Dr. Dolani Rustin commented in her movie Screenagers in a PBS News commentary she talks about her research, how she found that screens are triggering rushes in the brain full of dopamine. And these are rushes that they are getting by electronic drug delivery devices, the same way that drug addicts are getting the rush when they do drugs. Screen time has not yet been classified as an addiction, but kids are showing signs of the addiction. We are calling this the I generation. The I generation, kids are favoring isolation to play video games and to watch videos on their devices. Texting has become a new form of communication. And 51% of teenagers are experiencing severe anxiety when separated from their devices. And even at the mere thought of being separated of their device. Phantom vibration syndrome is something that is all too real. Kids are starting to experience vibration in their pocket or somewhere nearby. They're also not getting enough sleep, and in turn, they suffer from anxiety, depression, and OCD. According to Dr. Markham, in the American Association of Pediatrics, talks about how the use of technology begins at home. Keep in mind that the earlier we introduce these devices to our kids, it affects the brain development and are more likely to have problems with addiction with technology and being able to disconnect. I encourage you to do as Dr. Radesky in a Journal of Developmental Psychology teaches. She teaches about digital manners, teaching our kids how to be able to disconnect and not ignore people when you are on a screen. Setting rules and assigning designated digital-free time so you could have good quality family time is very important. In a society where technology is all around us and continues to grow, we can make small changes to keep our minds sharp and live happy and healthy lives. I'm talking about setting realistic goals. According to the American Association of Pediatrics, 2 hours is very unrealistic in the times of today, especially when we are incorporating home use of technology and also technology in the classroom. Limit yours and your kids' screen time. Lead by example. Technology should not be taken away, and it won't, but it should be used in moderation. And it should be limited in the way that educators are using it in the classroom. In an article published by Time magazine in 2006, this was 12 years ago, it was titled, "Are Kids Too Wired for Their Own Good?" It predicted a changing time, a multitasking generation. And they talk about how, as a society, it is our responsibility to raise kids who could think critically and are able to socialize and also disconnect. Ultimately, it's about finding a healthy balance, a balance for you that works for you and also for your family. Thank you.